What's up, guys? Welcome back to Waterfall Farm. If you're new here, my name is Mike, and today is a little bit of a different one where we're making a dog parlor. So normally we do stuff with machinery and stuff with sheep or animals, but now we're actually doing something with dogs. Hope to do more of that. But anyway, we're putting in a dog parlor. We have so many dogs. Most of them are inside, most of them are female. So this is kind of the female dog parlor. They're making a mess of the house, and they're in heat. Half the year we seem to have a dog in heat. So they need to come out here. They need to be here also so we can keep our house clean. So it's a very simple run. It's just going to be 3 relatively even pens, isolated pens, so we don't have any fighting issues. So 1, 2, 3. The third one will be bigger because it's under the stairs. Just run a pipe. I'm going to run a pipe along here at the top, and I'll have my T-joints coming straight down to my upper 2 sections. Yeah, roughly there. And then in the front, we'll have our doors swinging open. And swinging open. That's it. There's not much more to explain. We put the floor in recently for it because the old floor was absolutely horrific. It was, well, for starters, there was flagstones here. There was water seeping up. The old concrete was chipped, and I don't even think it was fully concreted. So we put a nice new floor down with plastic underneath so we won't have water coming up. And now it's my turn to actually start doing stuff. Yeah, let's get this ball rolling. It's been 8 months in the making. We're finally in a position to start. So let's hit it. Alright, so we've got the vertical, everything bolted in the ground. It's going to be bolted in. I have 2 pipes that were pre-cut, so they're ready to go in. They're in, what am I saying? Those 2 are in. We put another one on top here and cut the 3 for here. That's just sitting there. It's not cut yet. And then we can put the mesh in on the sides. I'm missing the hinges for the doors. We didn't get them, or I forgot about them, or something happened. I don't have them. So I'll get them at a later date. I can make the doors, I just can't put them in yet. So that's not a big deal. And I will have to unscrew it out of the base plate just to slide it in, but that's not a big deal either. So let's just cut our horizontal pieces and put the mesh in there. And after that, it's pretty much just put the doors on and you're done. And I have to put a bit of mesh underneath that stairway or they're gonna escape. He's doing the stick thing again, isn't he? So I've got everything put in. As far as the verticals are, I'll put in. The horizontals are put in and leveled. Put one sheet in. It's going really well. I mean, I'm quite happy with how it's turning out. It is very satisfying putting the sheeting in because it's so fast and you see so much progress as you're doing it. Kind of like painting. So it is. I'm happy with how it's going in. I'm sure someone's gonna say, "Oh, that bar should be against the ground because they can kick, they can, push and it moves." But that's about as much moving as you're gonna get out of it. And these are not. Well, there was a dog here a moment ago. They're not huge dogs. They're not St. Bernards or anything stupid like that. If they were huge dogs, I'd have to be putting a bar here across as well, and then another one on top. But they're border collies. And the other thing is, when they go in here, they're gonna be happy. They're going to be sitting down, chilling. We tell them, even in the old parlor across the way here, when we tell them to go in, they sit down, they're happy. The most they do as far as trying to escape is when you come to let them out in the morning. They be jumping and kind of at the gate a little bit. So the gate will have to be nice and strong, but that's about as far as it's going to have to be. As far as strength, there's going to be another clip here. I had it on, but I took it off because I realized that I forgot that the next sheet's going here. It's also going to tie in with the same clip, so he'll have to come off as well and just tie him in the same way. But it's going well, and you might say, oh, you don't need another sheet there. Believe me, I do. They will jump that. So let's put a time lapse on, and I think we can get all the sheeting up today, and then a couple hours the next day to put the doors to make the gates / doors, and then we're all done and dusted. Okay, well, that's one door done. It didn't quite turn out how I wanted it to. And I don't know if they've changed the manufacturing of these or if they're just slightly different, but there seems to be a lot more play in the hinges. Too much to the point where I had to get a bolt. Now, I have yet to secure the top beam to the top pole, I should say. The dog's addicted to sticks. I have yet to secure that beam, that pole to the beam. So, left and right, there is still a little bit of play, but that will be taken out sooner than later, and it should be a lot better. But the problem I'm having is trying to level it. It stops somewhere right there. Will you please stop? So, that was not quite what I wanted. Also, the way to level these, and even though I have this dead level, to get the gate not to swing, you have to level it, the gate. And because of the play in the hinges, you have to turn your brackets for your hinges such so that, and I forgot about that, so my gate swings past, and I had intended for it to impact and not be able to open in. So, and this is the smallest gate, so I can't really do anything unless I completely remake it. I'm not doing that. So, I'm probably just going to make a little tab that sticks out here and catches the gate, and we'll make our little piece of pipe here for that. So, a bit of a memory, a bit of a learning process, as always, with everything you do. And for the next one, we're going to make sure it's a little bigger than it's probably supposed to be, so that when we put our hinges on, it works with it. Because it's not like we're building this for something really fancy. They don't have to be perfectly flush with the poles. If the gate sticks out just a little bit from the pole line, it'll be okay. So that's just how we're going to run with it. Alright, it's the next day. I thought I filmed me making and putting the latches on, but apparently I didn't. All it was just a flat piece of iron and a little beam, bar, beam, whatever you want to call it. And I just slide back and forth and just put them in and tighten it up. So it wasn't really a big deal on all of them. Literally all I have left to do for this project is to put a bit of mesh here and a little bit underneath the stairs so that the dogs don't escape, because they will. And literally if there's any, like, a couple of these bolts are protruding out, I don't really want that, so just go in there with the bolt cutters and just trim them down, or maybe with the grinder and just trim them down. And I gotta put a little stopper plate here, because like I said earlier, my door measurements were just a little bit off. So I gotta put something to stop the door from going too far. But that's it, it's done. It works. Yeah. You like it, don't you? Oh, yes. Good boy. So, that's really it. One final hyperlapse, putting a few of them on. Well, just weld them on here. I might even just drill a hole for that one. A little piece of pipe, that's all it's needed. And we're done. And a little bit of mesh. So, I'm quite happy this project is done. It's taken me way too long to do. And, I feel freed from the prison I was in. I don't know why I said that, I just had to put it in. Anyway, let's go.